Let's talk about Wuthering Heights, the new film from Emerald Fennell starring Margot Robbie as well as Jacob Elordi, based on the novel of the same name of Emily Bronte. I've looked up how to pronounce that name. That's pretty much what I've come up to. I want to pronounce things right. So let's talk about this whole debate that's been going on, the controversies ever since the announcements came out. The trailers have been coming, the marketing's here, and people are saying, you know what, this movie is going to piss me off. So I decided to look into the controversies because I am not familiar really with Wuthering Heights. I know of Wuthering Heights. I've heard of the book and I've heard how impactful it has been in English literature. So I'm not entirely sure what was going on with the controversy and stuff like that. I am aware of the Emerald Fennell controversy. However, as a filmmaker, as a writer, people seem to have a thing about her. Now, you either love her, you hate her, and I feel like you can't really be in between. I myself have never really found a huge problem with her as a filmmaker. I think she is a very striking filmmaker when it comes to the images she puts on screen. I don't necessarily think that the twists and the turns and the shock factor are so breathtaking either. I don't necessarily either think that it's abrasive and bad. I think that she is very much so entertaining people. And, I don't think that she is horrible as some people think she is. But if you do, you are entitled to your opinion, and it's valid, honestly, if you feel that way. So I'm curious to know what you think about Emerald Fennell as a filmmaker, as an artist, all of these things. I just don't necessarily think she is as bad as people are saying. I think she definitely is a competent filmmaker, and she really knows how to be a provocateur. I don't know if she's ever said she is one or not, but I'm just saying, I think that she really likes to stir up something inside of you as you watch her work, and I think that's going to be the same feeling she wants to do with Wuthering Heights. Now, the big thing with the book and the film in itself is centered around the character of Heathcliff. Now, there are some other inconsistencies that people are kind of mad about, which I'll brush over a little bit in the end, but it seems the big one is Jacob Elordi being cast as Heathcliff. Now, in the book, people say that Heathcliff is described as a dark-skinned, maybe olive-colored character, and of course, Jacob Elordi is a white person. And I think people are more with some of the things that are kind of alluding in the book that he may be of Indian or African descent of sorts, and ambiguous like race that he is. Nobody's really sure. He's an adopted son and all of that. So people are saying that they really sort of missed the moment to really put in a character here that could really represent what Emily Bronte was trying to portray in this book all of those years ago. And the book in itself also is a book that tries to highlight this character throughout. So that's why people are kind of disappointed that Jacob Elordi was cast as Heathcliff instead of a person of color, which I can totally get. We just recently had the whole debacle with Odessa Azion taking on a character that is meant to be Mexican, which was crazy. I was going to talk about that, but then she came out and apologized, and I didn't make a video about it. But I thought that was so insane that we're still seeing these things happen. I mean, we can go back not just even like 50 years ago to Scarface, which of course Al Pacino played a Cuban immigrant, which was just bizarre. The movie worked at the end of the day, but still very bizarre. And you still see some of these things happen nowadays. And that's a whole other video with, I would say, like these whitewashing of films and tales and all of that that we continue to see still, even though things should have been changed. And I totally get what people are coming here for towards Jacob Elordi. I think at the end of the day, it was just something that was going to happen. I think Emerald Fennell is somebody who grew up in a different sphere as many of us. So I don't think that these rich people have that much tact. And I am not familiar with the text in Wuthering Heights like that. But from what I've seen, the excerpts and stuff like that, I'm not entirely sure how Jacob Elordi played Heathcliff here. Now, the biggest thing that people do say, and I kind of go towards this as well, is that the title Wuthering Heights is in quotations. So this is just Emerald Fennell kind of saying, well, I'm not saying I'm making Wuthering Heights. And she did say this in an interview. She said that she would not be able to make a movie based on the book. There's just so much to explore. And I've said this before, that it is impossible to make a book, make a video game into a movie, because they are so different in the art form that they are, that it just doesn't work in translating them there. So I get it to that degree, but I do see why people are upset with the portrayal of Heathcliff when he he is explicitly said to be almost a person of color, even though it doesn't say he is one. It's sort of the subtext of it all is kind of like leading you there. And I believe that was something also that people have spoken about in other books and adaptations, as we know with Hermione in the Harry Potter series and so on and so forth. So I get why people are mad about that. Another thing that people are kind of angry about in the whole controversy with Wuthering Heights is the promotion of this movie that is kind of leading us to feel that this is like a 50 Shades of Grey vibe type, a dark book talk type of film where it's going to be about sort of like a BDSM vibe throughout. And people say that that is not entirely what the book is about at all. It is more about the way that people can be cruel, the way that people can be evil, and how society, race, and money and all of that factor into it all. And it is a movie that should focus on what Emily Bronte was trying to portray in her book about that, not just the love story that gets a little bit erotic here and there, but more about the deeper themes. And I'm curious what you think about that. I haven't read the book. I don't know exactly what the book is trying to say or what the movie should say, but you let me know if you've read the book and know about that in the comments down below. I think something else that's a bit more of a smaller thing is people are kind of mad that Margot Robbie is portraying a character that's supposed to be a teenager here. And of course, Elordi and herself, I think, are supposed to be around the same age, which I kind of see it here, but I do not get the vibes of teenage here in the movie. But that's just a minute thing I think I've seen. I haven't really seen the uproar for that. So the biggest things are definitely Heathcliff not being played by a person of color. Also, the tone of the movie feeling more like an erotic love story of sorts, kind of like a 50 Shades of Grey vibe, instead of an actual film that's trying to dissect what it means to be in love, be possessive, be very much so angry at the world, and showcase it through cruelty and just a devastating gothic love story of sorts. So that's pretty much what the whole controversy of Wuthering Heights is. I'm curious to know what your opinion is on it. I will be watching this movie tomorrow night. I am excited to dive into it. I've enjoyed Emerald Fennell's previous work. I think Saltburn is great. I'm not saying it's a masterpiece or any of that, but I do think it is a great film. So I'm curious to know what you think about it in the comments down below. Are you excited for Wuthering Heights, or as a fan of the book, are you not watching it? Have you read the book and you think that this is okay? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm open to hear everybody's opinions. I think your opinion is valid. I don't think anybody has the right answer, and that's just the end of it there. So let me know. Make sure you hit that subscribe and notification bell on the road to 50,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. We have a video talking about some horror news, so if you're a fan of horror movies, go check that out. But I'm excited to check out Wuthering Heights. Review will be out on Tuesday, and we'll discuss spoilers of this probably Wednesday night or Thursday morning. So don't miss out on it. I'll see all of you next time. As always, stay safe, stay positive.